So in today's video, we are going to discuss the framework of checking out your account's PPC data on the weekly basis. After the product launch gets sustainable, the achievement of your goals in the PPC, that can be improvement in tacos, improvement in profitability, all that achievement in goals, that happens over time, that happens slowly, and that's not like a sudden process. Like once you have achieved your ranks, once you have achieved the sustainability in ranking, then within 10 days you are going to achieve your goal of profitability as well. It does not happen right now. How PPC is going, this thing happens over time. So that's why it is more important to look the trend of the data, like towards which direction all these KPIs are moving on the weekly basis, because these things can take maybe from 1 month to 3 months. That is pretty normal. After you have sustained your ranks, after you have achieved good ranks, this much time is required to achieve profitability. So you need to have the understanding that your goal achievement is going to happen over time instead of being a quick one-time procedure. So with this understanding in mind, we need to have a target number for each and every KPI. When we get to see all of the data of our product on the weekly basis, we need to know, we need to have an idea that our ecos should be break even ecos. Our aim for the ecos should be, for example, if your margins are around 40%, then your break even ecos is 40%. If your margins are 30 to 35%, then your break even ecos is similar. And similarly, if your margins are 50%, then your break even ecos need to be 50%. And then again, for the tacos, it should be near to 20% in this case, or you can say two-third of your profit margin. Whatever is your profit margin, the maximum tacos you can afford is two-third of your profit margin. If your profit margin is around 33% or 30%, you can have a maximum tacos of around 20%. If your profit margin is around 50%, you can have a tacos of around 30 to 35%. So two-third of your profit margin, your tacos should be equal to two-third of your profit margin. That is the maximum that can happen. If your tacos is higher than that, then you need to reset your tacos goals. You can't exceed, you can't make it higher than this part. You can't set your tacos goal higher than two-third of the profit margin, whatever you have. So the third KPI number which you should have in your mind is the ratio between PPC and organic orders. Ideally, your PPC order contribution should be 30%, and at maximum it can be 40%. If you have around 60% PPC order and 40% organic orders, then it means you do lack in organic ranking. You still need to put some efforts in organic ranking. You still need to achieve improvement in the organic rank. And then the last, I would say, one of the KPI which you would need to keep in mind is the distribution of budget. Almost 80% of your budget in the sponsor product needs to be allocated to the exact keyword targeting. If majority of your budget is towards the auto or the broad match, then there is some margin for improvement in those discovery campaigns. With this, we need to have an eye on all the KPIs like your sales units and the distribution between units, like how many are PPC, how many are from organic, then tacos, then profit margin, then the unit session percentage, your number of sessions, your revenue, your ad spend. So these are the KPIs which you kind of keep in mind on the weekly basis. And what you need to do is you need to track the trend. You need to see what was the tacos at week 1, and then what it was in the week 2, then in week 3, then in week 4. So you need to track it like this. So if the trend is improving, you need to have an understanding that this thing takes time. It's not going to be like in the, let's say, month 1, if your tacos is 60% and you are aiming it for 20% in the second month, that's only going to jeopardize all of your effort, all of your hard work. You need to make sure till the trend is towards the 20% tacos. Even if the next month tacos is from 60% to 50% or maybe 45%, and then in the next month maybe 35%, 38%, and then it can be possible that in the next month from 38 it has only decreased to 32%. Till the trend is towards the right direction, things should be fine. And you should be worried about when the tacos is sustained at the current spot or moving towards the wrong direction. For example, when the tacos is kind of from 60% to 70, then from 70 to 80, then 80 to 100%, then that's a point of worry for you guys. So with this, let me share the screen and let's read the data. Like the frame, let's discuss the framework, basically how we are supposed to read the data when we are checking the account on 7 days basis. So here is data for one of the product, and I have sorted it on the weekly basis. And let's say if we are checking the sales for the week 42, we are supposed to take into consideration the data of last 3 weeks. And what we are doing is we are basically doing the comparison, because there's no reference point basically. What reference points do you guys have? What should be the sale number? What should be the tag cost number? What should be the advertised cost number? So till the direction of the sales data, of the organic sales data, of the unit sold data, advertising cost data, till the direction is in the positive way, things should be fine enough. So let's say if I check the sales data here, sales for the week 39 was 7,000, then again 6,900. Okay, that's fine. There's a difference of around $150 only. And then in the week 41 the sales are improved, then the week 42 the sales are a bit down. Okay, so things are kind of pretty normal here. If I check the units sold, the units sold were around 353, then 415, then 332. If I break it down, let's say if I see any kind of anomaly in the unit sold data, which I can observe here, for example, how come the unit sold number increased from 350 to 415? Because if I see it at the backwards, even 332 is normal, because in the week 39 it was 352, 326. So even the 332 is normal, but what happened due to which the unit sold data is better, the numbers are better in the week 41. So if I go down further at this step at the organic orders level, I can see the PPC orders are kind of same in these weeks: 130, 144, 138. But then again, in this week, in the week 40, the organic orders were 223, and in the week 41, the organic orders were higher. Those were around 50 more organic orders as compared to the previous week, which is a good number. And then in the next week, it has lowered down 30 orders are decreased from the week 40. And if you consider it from week 41, around 70 orders are decreased. So there is some issue in the organic ranking. So if I'm reading this data, I know I need to check out my organic ranks, and I need to go to the keyword tracker and see on what kind of keywords my ranks are dropped in last week. So that is how I'm going to read it. Okay, so for refund, until the refund ratio is below the acceptance rate, that can be 2%, 3%, 4% of the niche, thing should be fine. Okay, so then I've come to the advertising cost, 1,700, 1,600. So in this week, it was 1,200. So I can also have an analysis that the advertising cost was 1,200. Okay, 300 units were sold. Around 1,200 again, 350 units were sold. Around 12, 1,300 again, 353 units were sold. But then when we increase the advertising cost to 400 more than what it was before, around 1,700, we got increment of around 60 to 65 orders. Okay, so that is an insight here. So if I go for refund cost, that is same as the refunds. For the Amazon fee, I'm simply going to check if there is any additional subscription fee or liquidation kind of stuff, or MCF, or warehouse damage, or maybe FBA shipment charges, any such kind of charges which are making the FBA fee higher. I'm going to check that simply. And then after that, VAT is, I guess this is USA based account, so there's no issue of VAT here. So I'm checking out the gross profit. Okay, so the thing is, the gross profit of this week, even though we did more sale, like last in the week 40, we did 350 sale, and in the week 42, then again we did less sale. In week 41, we did more sale, but if you check out the profit, profit per week was around $1,000, like 1,400, and then 1,000, and then in the week 42, it's also around 900. But even though we are increasing the number of orders here, like from 350 average to 415 or 20, but still my profit is shrinking. It means I am getting the increment in orders on the cost of tacos. Like the tacos is being increased here, and on the cost of tacos I am getting more orders, so that is hitting the profitability. That's when we reverted the changes, and the profit is per week is back to the normal here. So we can see the real echoes here, like the real echoes was 19%, then 15%, 18%, and then in the week 41 it was increased 5%, and then in this week it is sustained and it would be decreased gradually. Like in this week it's already 22. So that's the issue here. So I've identified that, even though, I mean, just by looking at the data, in which direction things are going. Let's say we are standing in the week 41. So at this stage I would get an idea that, okay, you guys have added, either increased the budget of some particular campaigns, or you have added more campaigns in your PPC, and due to that your tacos is increased. So if it's part of a plan, and if it's part of adding more keywords from your customized keyword list, and the tacos is higher because you are ranking on those keywords, then okay, that makes sense. I should have an idea when that launch activity for those particular keywords is going to end, and when are you planning to decrease the tacos back to normal, and what kind of increment in numbers of orders are you observing. But if that's not the case, and if your account is running in a maintenance mode, then it means you have increased the budget on some of the campaigns. Now here we are going to check our activity log, and then we are going to fix the changes. Like we need to revert the changes if the increment, like if it's not helping us with the like our organic ranks are already on top, and it's just cannibalizing more budget, and the orders are increased but at the cost of tacos, then we are going to take a decision here whether we want to pursue it or not. If no, we are going to revert the changes, we are going to revert the PPC changes here. Then again, in the bottom here is the margin. So the margins were around 19% and 15% net margin, 16%. And then in this week, the margins were decreased to 8%. And then in the next week, the margins are gained back. So there can be some changes in the selling price as well to make sense for the tacos and the margin ratio. But this is how we are supposed to go through all of the parameters. So in addition to this, say, a seller board parameter, we need to check the sessions on weekly basis. Sessions are basically how many people are visiting your product detail page, and we need to make sure that those numbers are maintained. Those numbers are in other angle, or in other sense, a depiction of sustenance of your organic ranks. If your organic ranks on, like how Helium 10 kind of shows the organic rank, it would say your captured rank is around 100,000 because you are ranked on some of the keywords which have the cumulative search volume of 100,000. But then again, what is the definition of ranking? The definition of the ranking is you are ranked among the top 10 sellers, but you are not sure if you are going to get a sale if you are ranked on 8th rank or ninth position or 7th position on a particular keyword. So that's kind of a vague metric to identify. Another true metric is the number of sessions. So if you have a number of session and you are tracking it on a weekly basis, you are going to get an idea how much organic traffic are you getting, because sessions do represent the organic stuff. So we do track the session, and then we do track the unit session percentage, which is the conversion for the organic orders and all that stuff. So in addition to these KPIs, we do track those two additional KPIs, and it gives us a good idea towards which direction the trends are moving. So let's discuss, if the trends are not moving in the right direction, what is going to be our macro level SOP, or what is going to be our micro level framework to identify the solution. Now we are going to discuss that in detail in the later videos, but here there are some key reasons which will come into our mind, and we are supposed to apply this macro level framework first. And then if we see that we need to dig deep to the problem, then we are going to refer to some kind of SOP or in detail analysis of that particular component. So the first thing you need to check out is there any changes in the external factor? The second thing you need to check out is, have you done any changes in your PPC that is pointing the trends towards the wrong direction? And the third thing you need to check out is basically your listing stuff. So when I say you need to check external factors, what those factors are basically, this can be price drop by some of your key competitor. This can be lightning deal or 7-day deal by any of your competitor. This can be a great coupon price. For example, that can be 30% off, 20% off by any of your competitor. This can be any negative review on your listing. This can be any unplanned or a change which is not done by you basically in your title, in your bullet point, on your image. You are observing your listing and you see that your bullet points are not appearing or some of your images are not appearing. There can be some changes sometime. There can be some kind of attack sometimes. So you need to check out your listing properly. Or there can be some scheduled lightning deal or 7-day deal by your side. Or some scheduled promotion coupon or promotion campaign which you simply forgot. So you need to check out these details first. So these are the macro things which you need to check out, and what we need to do in detail. We are going to discuss that in later videos. Now let's discuss how we are going to analyze our PPC campaigns. So let's discuss how we are going to analyze the campaign performance at the macro level. Like we are just checking the advertising console here. So I'm going to do it in the two phases. The first thing is I'm going to select all of my exact match campaign. You can simply type exact in the search bar or whatever code you have given to the exact campaigns. You can filter out the exact campaigns by that code and you can have all those campaigns here. Then what you need to do is basically you need to sort the campaigns by clicks. You can see here I have sorted these campaigns by clicks, and then we are going to analyze the ratio of clicks and orders. So it should be like, for example, here are 80,000 clicks and around 11,000 orders. So it's around 1 to 8 ratio. Okay, that's fine. So for the second campaign, it's around 23,000 clicks and 2,000 is the number of orders. Okay, I have registered that. But then for the second campaign, the orders are around same, but with 6,000 less clicks. Okay, so this is giving me an idea that there is conversion issue in this second campaign. The third campaign is fine, but there is conversion issue in the second campaign. Okay, if I go for this third campaign, there are 231 order with 5,000. Okay, so that should also be an issue, but then again, the CPC is very low. So the point here is for the exact match campaigns, what I'm going to do is I'm going to analyze the conversion first. And for all the non-exact match campaigns, I'm going to analyze the performance of campaigns by the ACOS. So I'm doing, let's say I'm doing let's keep these four examples, these first four campaigns for the sake of example here. What I'm observing is there is something fishy with this second campaign because the number of clicks are much more than the campaign below than this second campaign, and it shows the kind of there is some issue of conversion. So I'll prioritize checking out this campaign particularly. And because we have kind of one keyword per campaign, so it will be easily let me filter out all of those keywords which have conversion issues. So that's what I'm going to do for the exact match campaigns. And for all the non-exact match campaigns, I'm going to put a filter to rule out the exact match, and I'm only observing the non-exact match campaigns here. That can be auto, broad, etc., and such kind of stuff. So I am observing those campaigns from the echoes perspective, and only those campaigns which have higher echoes for the non-exact campaign, because we are going to give a leniency to the exact match campaigns in terms of echoes. And but for the non-exact match campaigns, we really need to make sure that we are not allowing any campaign to have very pathetic echoes. So for all the non-exact match campaign, I'm simply let's assume from this campaign onwards all of the campaigns are non-exact match. So I'm observing, okay, 32% is kind of fine, 57% what I need to look into, then 21 is fine, 27 is fine, 78% what I need to look into, then this is what I also need to look into, then this 32%, okay, these two campaigns are also what I need to look into, then these two campaigns are fine. So that's how I am kind of prioritizing what I need to look into. That is when you are observing the performance of your campaigns via advertising console, and you're not observing that with the help of the bulk operations sheet. When we see there's an issue in PPC, there are three major scenarios which we need to check out. So the first scenario is the keyword in the campaign, is it a right keyword or a wrong keyword? And you need to apply all of your keyword analyzing learning, whatever we have learned in the session one, to this part, and we need to make sure that this keyword should be relevant to our product. If it's a wrong keyword, then we need to close it down, and if it's a right keyword, then we are going to check out the second point of issue. So the second point is it the right keyword but wrong placement? So in this case, we need to check out the placement data. Like if the keyword is performing amazing on the tiers placement, on the top of search placement, but then again, we have not optimized the placement enough. So in this case, we are going to fix the placement issue. So the third macro kind of issue can be the keyword is right, the placement is right, but still the listing is not converting. At this stage, you need to check out if our listing has enough validation, enough social proof in terms of reviews, if our listing is optimized enough, if that keyword is available in the content. If we have these three elements, then our listing should convert well. If the listing is not converting, then we need to ask ourselves the question if the listing is right fit for the market or not. In this particular case, we are going to reduce the bids by 10 to 20% because the issue is not the budget is being consumed crazily or the cost of advertising is very high. The issue is that the listing is not converting basically. So in this particular case, we are going to reduce the bids, and we are going to wait for a couple of days to reassess the situation, to reassess the standing of the listing in the market, and then we are going to reevaluate, we reassess the situation after all this. So that's all from this video. I'll see you soon in the next one. Till then, goodbye.